Government schemes. Ministry of Finance. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. It aims to improve the accessibility and affordability of financial products with the help of technology through banking or savings and deposit accounts, remittance, credit, insurance and pension in an affordable manner. Beneficiaries. Any individual above 10 years can open a bank account. Any individual above 10 years can open a bank account. Components. Basic savings with an overdraft up to 1000 rupees in one account per household. Basic savings bank account. Accidental insurance cover. A RuPay debit card having inbuilt accident insurance cover of 2 lakh rupees. Life insurance cover. Life insurance cover of 30,000 rupees payable on death of the beneficiary. Jan Dhan the Darshak app to provide a citizen centric platform for locating nearest bank branches, ATMs, bank mitras, post offices. Recognition. The Guinness Book of World Records has recognized an achievement of most bank accounts opened in 1 week. Jan Dhan Yojana. Okay. Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. It's a 1-year life insurance scheme offering coverage for death. It provides financial security and low cost insurance to the undeserved and unserved population. Beneficiaries. Individuals aged 18 to 50 years, life cover up to age 55, have a bank account. Even NRIs are eligible for Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. Implementation. The scheme is administered through Life Insurance Corporation (LIC) and other Indian private life insurance companies. The scheme is administered through Life Insurance Corporation (LIC) and other Indian private life insurance companies. Components. Life cover of 2 lakh rupees is available at a premium of 436 rupees per annum per member and is renewable annually. In the case of a joint account, all holders of the said account can join the scheme. It covers only mortality with no investment component. PMJJBY covers death due to any reason, including heart attack or accident. Economic Survey 2022 to 2023. Around 14.96 crore persons have been enrolled and about 6.4 lakh claims have been paid under the scheme. Atal Pension Yojana to extend pension benefits to the working poor from the unorganized sector and provide a sense of security in old age. It is a voluntary periodic contribution based pension scheme. Implementation. It will be managed by the Pension Funds Regulatory Authority of India PFRDA. Beneficiary eligibility. A citizen of India with an age of 18 to 40 years must have a savings bank account linked with Aadhaar and a valid mobile number. Private sector employees or employees working with an organization that does not provide them pension benefits can also apply for the scheme. Mechanism. Subscribers can contribute to API on a monthly or quarterly or half-yearly basis. Will receive a fixed minimum pension at the age of 60 years. The subscribers can opt to decrease or increase their pension amount. Gold monetization scheme to mobilize gold held by households and institutions in the country and facilitate its use for productive purposes while reducing the country's reliance on importing gold. Beneficiaries. Resident Indian individuals, HUFs, proprietorship and partnership firms, trust including mutual funds or exchange traded funds registered under SEBI. All SCBs excluding RRBs have been allowed to implement the scheme. Charitable institutions, central government and state governments can also avail of the scheme. Components. Gold can be deposited in any form with bars, coins, jewelry. Return for interest for the fixed period 2.25 to 2.50%. Okay. Minimum deposit of 30 grams of any purity. However, there is no maximum limit. redemption of principal and interest on at maturity either in Indian rupee equivalent to the deposit gold and accrued interest or in the form of gold. Premature redemption allowed but with penalty. Premature redemption allowed but with penalty. The earrings on the gold monetization scheme exempted from capital gains tax, wealth tax and income tax also. There are 3 term deposit plans available under the scheme. Short term 1 to 3 years. Interest is calculated on the amount of gold invested. Banks decide the rates. Medium term 5 to 7 years. Interest is calculated on the value of gold. Rates decided by the government. Long term 12 to 15 years. Interest is calculated on the value of gold. Rates decided by the government. Short term interest is calculated on the amount of gold invested. Banks decide the rates. The difference between the government's current borrowing cost and the interest paid is deposited in the gold reserve fund. Sovereign gold bond scheme to provide people an alternative to physical gold investment and reduce the physical demand of gold, discouraging its imports. The RBI issues the bonds on behalf of the government. Bonds are sold through offices or branches of scheduled commercial banks except SFBs and payment banks, designated post offices, Stockholding Corporation of India Limited and the authorized stock exchanges. Beneficiary eligible investors include individuals, HUFs, trust, universities and charitable institutions. Minors can also invest in the scheme but guardians have to apply. Components: these bonds are issued against rupees and are denominated in grams of gold. Investors are assured of the market value of gold at the time of maturity and periodical interest and shall be redeemed in Indian rupees. Minimum investment in the bond shall be 1 gram with an annual maximum limit of subscription of 4 kg for individuals, 4 kg for HUFs and 20 kg for trusts and similar entities. Tenure of the bond is 8 years. Early encashment or redemption is allowed after 5th year. The bond is tradable on exchanges. It can also be transferred to any other eligible investor. The securities are eligible to be used as collateral for loans. Interest on the bonds will be taxable. However, the capital gains tax arising on redemption has been exempted. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyana Yojana 1.70 lakh crore rupees relief package was announced under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana to overcome the economic impact of coronavirus induced lockdown for the poor. PMGKY insurance schemes for health workers, benefits to farmers, cash transfers, support to self-help groups. Components: insurance cover of 50 lakh rupees per health worker fighting COVID-19 in all government health centers, wellness centers and hospitals of center as well as states. Coverage: Safai Karamcharis, ward boys, nurses, ASHA workers, paramedics, technicians, doctors and specialists and other health workers. Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana. It is aimed to incentive employees to the creation of new employment along with social security benefits during COVID-19 pandemic. It will reduce the financial burden of the employers and encourage them to hire more workers. Implementation: Employees Provident Fund Organization will implement the scheme. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihoods Mission. It aims to mobilize the rural poor households into self-help groups to SHGs to provide them with long-term support to diversify their livelihoods and improve their income and quality of life. Funding: centrally sponsored scheme. Implementation: most of the mission is being implemented by SHGs themselves. who are trained as community resource persons, CRPs, Krishi Sakis, Pashu Sakis, Bank Sakis. Components: universal social mobilization. One woman member from each identified rural poor household to be brought under self-help group network SHG network. Special emphasis on marginalized communities like PWDs, PVTGs, manual scavengers, etc. Participatory identification of poor PIP. Target groups are identified transparently at the level of community. Community funds as resource in perpetuity 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 provides a revolving fund RF and community investment fund CIF to the institutions of the poor to strengthen their institutional and financial management capacity, help attract bank finance, financial inclusion. It promotes financial literacy among the poor and provides catalytic capital to the SHGs and their federations, coordinates with the financial sector and encourages use of ICT based financial technologies, business correspondents and community facilitators like Bank Mitras, works towards universal coverage of rural poor against risk of loss of life, health and assets. Livelihoods, vulnerability reduction and livelihoods enhancement are through deepening and are enhancing and expanding existing livelihoods options and tapping new opportunities in farm and non-farm sectors. Employment to building skills for the job market outside. Enterprise nurturing self-employed enterprises are nurturing self-employed and entrepreneurs for micro enterprises. Features: 25% of the NRLM funds are earmarked for the Ajivika skill development program. It facilitates building the skills of the rural youth. NRLM is encouraging public sector banks to set up rural self-employment training institutes in all districts. The National Rural Economic Transformation Project is a World Bank aided project to scale up the initiatives on digital finance and livelihood interventions. Economic Survey 2022-2023. The mission has mobilized of total 8.7 crore rupees women from poor and vulnerable communities into 81 lakh SHGs. Transformation of aspirational districts. Expediting the transformation of 117 most backward districts across 28 states through the convergence of government programs and schemes to reduce the disparity between districts. Beneficiaries: most backward districts selected based on a composite index of deprivation constructed using a range of socio-economic indicators. The districts are chosen by senior officials of the union government in consultation with states officials. Features: convergence between central and state schemes, collaboration among center, state, district administration, development partners and citizens, competition between districts. Core focus areas: health and nutrition, education, agriculture, water resources, financial inclusion and skill development, and basic infrastructure with different weights. Champions of change dashboard to measure the progress of aspirational districts program. States are the main drivers at the central level anchored by Niti Aayog. Officers at the joint secretary or additional secretary level have been nominated to become the central Prabhari officers of each district. States have been requested to form a committee under chief secretary to implement the program. Shaphari certification scheme for aquaculture products to certify hatcheries and farms that adopt good aquaculture practices to bolster confidence in India's frozen shrimp produce. Features: it is based on the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization's technical guidelines on aquaculture certification. It is a market-based tool for hatcheries to adopt good aquaculture practices to help produce quality antibiotic-free shrimp products to assure global consumers. Two components: certifying hatcheries for the quality of their seeds, approving shrimp farms that adopt the requisite good practices. The online certification process minimizes human errors and ensures higher credibility and transparency. Implementation: it is developed by the Marine Products Exports Development Authority. MPEDA is a statutory body under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Swayat Initiative. It aims to promote startups, women and youth advantage through e-transactions on government e-marketplace GEM. It will bring the key stakeholders within the Indian entrepreneurial ecosystem to government e-marketplace, the national procurement portal. BharatNet to provide the last mile connectivity to all Gram Panchayats of the country and aims to deliver the services of e-governance, e-health and e-education in line with the Digital India vision. Features: the scope of BharatNet has been recently extended to all inhabited villages beyond GPs in the country, Gram Panchayats in the country. CSC E-Governance Services India Limited, a special purpose vehicle CSC SPV had been assigned to provide the last mile connectivity through an optimal mix of media, optical fiber cable, OFC, radio or satellite. So not only OFC, monitored through a centralized network operating center. The infrastructure created under the BharatNet project is a national asset, accessible on a non-discriminatory basis to the service providers, and the same can be utilized for the provisioning of the broadband or internet services. Funding: public-private partnership PPP model, viability gap funding. Funded by the Universal Service Obligation Fund USOF, the statutory body under the Indian Telegraphic Act 1885 to connect rural and inaccessible areas. 5-star village scheme to bridge the gaps in public awareness and reach of postal product and services, especially in interior villages. Features: the schemes covered under the 5-star scheme include savings bank account, recurrent deposit accounts, NSSC or KVPA certificates, Sukanya Samriddhi accounts or PPPF accounts, funded post office savings account linked India's post payment bank accounts, postal life insurance policy or rural postal life insurance policy, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana account or Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana account. Implementation: the scheme is launched by the Department of Posts. It will be implemented by a team of 5 Gramin Dak Sevaks. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Uttam Mahabhiyan PM Kusum, ensuring energy security for farmers in India along with honoring India's commitment to increase the share of installed capacity of electric power from non-fossil fuel sources to 40% by 2030 as part of intended nationally determined contributions. Components: a decentralized ground mounted grid connected solar power plants. Component A, decentralized ground mounted grid connected solar power plants. Component B, installation of standalone solar powered agricultural pumps. Component C, solarization of grid connected agricultural pumps including through feeder level solarization. To avoid disruption of the groundwater table, particularly in the districts with depleted levels of groundwater, installation of new solar pumps is not allowed under the scheme in the dark zones or areas notified by Central Groundwater Board. Ministry of Textiles. Jute iCare. Jute improved cultivation and advanced retting exercise. iCare means improved cultivation and advanced retting exercise to support the small and marginal jute growers with adequate pre and post harvesting operations so that they can grow suitable quality jute and receive a higher price for their produce. Features: to institutionalize the use of scientific agronomic techniques and practices which would be imparted to the jute growers, the following inputs shall be provided: 100% yield certified seeds at a subsidized rate as recommended by ICAR CRIGAF, demonstrate scientific jute cultivation practices for adoption at farmers fields with mechanical intervention using seed drill or nail weeder, single wheel jute weeder, demonstration of microbial retting using CRIGAF SONA developed by Central Research Institute for research in jute and allied fibers, a microbial consortium, and also Ninefit Shati and Izira Subhara, NINFE, Ninfet Sahi and Ninfet Shati and Izira Subra, construction of retting pond through Manrega, PMKSY, watershed management and RKY. Ministry has extended the scheme to all jute growing states like West Bengal, Assam, Bihar, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Meghalaya and Tripura. Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. It is a campaign under the aegis of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to encourage people to bring Tiranga home and hoist it to mark